Are you focused on landing big deals while ignoring massive small transactional opportunities? Are you leaving money on the table because you think small transactions are not worth your time? Oh boy, if I had a nickel for every time that I heard we want to sell massive multi-enterprise level, multi-million dollar, oh boy, the volume can beat value. And that's just not it's like there's some people that are immune to that advice right there. So let's talk about if you process millions of small transactions and those tiny margins add up to massive profit. It's the transaction scale business model.
About some examples. I mean, the one that obviously comes to mind really quickly is the payment processing using point of sale. Like each transaction is small potentially, especially if you don't have to be buying $200 items.
I was thinking anyone that takes transactions on Stripe, or I was thinking about anybody who opens a storefront in Shopify or
Etsy or whatever.
Robinhood. Any of those ones that like each individual trade or whatever is like it's a tiny. They're taking they're shaving pennies off the trade, but still they're doing millions and millions of trades every day. So like those millions of pieces of pennies, like I think we're describing the plot of Office Space, actually. Never mind. I take it all back.
Volume can beat value.
Volume can beat value. The one big one we didn't talk about that they literally wrote the book on this one was Visa. I mean, Visa, PayPal, Stripe, like all the fintech bros, they basically invented this business. They didn't really invent this business model, but if we're saying Palantir invented customer solutions, we're saying PayPal invented this one. Then that's what we're saying.
What a world we live in.
And then of course stock exchanges.
Yes.
Yeah. So strengths of this business model: obviously massive volume potential, small margins, millions of transactions. Nobody's noticing you're cutting a penny off of here, penny off of there, or whatever.
The brokerage business is big on this because, even if they don't charge you fees, let's say, because that seems to be the recent trend now, they're making money on the spread. And the spread is bigger than what a lot of people think. But they are making money every time you're selling or buying.
Right. And also the benefit of this one, unlike other business models, is one customer or two customers leave. Like your whole business is not at risk. The diversification here will keep you afloat. And like, I would honestly be surprised if you really knew. You probably know who your biggest transactions come from, but like the rest of them, the lower 50% is probably so diverse.
Straight in the back.
Yeah.
I think getting to the point here where you can really start to make money, that investment is constant regardless of the size of the total addressable market, which is fantastic. If you think about it, there's not many models where you could stake that claim. Right.
The acquisition of the total addressable market, I think, is alluring because you have a very low customer acquisition cost.
Yeah.
Because there's so many. I mean, like Stripe, for example, like what is the customer acquisition cost of Stripe for people to sign up and just start taking payment? I mean, it's got to be near zero. And then obviously scalability. You build your system right, you're basically infinitely scalable. It costs you near zero to onboard people. Everything's profit at that point.
Yeah.
So, wow, this sounds like we should quit our jobs and be fintech bros. There's got to be weaknesses in this business model. Let's talk about them. Obviously, if you're going to scale forever and let anyone sign up immediately, there's going to be some infrastructure investment.
Yes.
You're going to need to ask your developers, hey, don't just phone this one in. Build it in a way where it could scale infinitely forever. Right. That's got to cost a couple bucks.
It does. And you've also, so two things, right? One is you've got to protect your customers' data. That requires that you get your security.
Right.
That requires investment. And the flip side of not doing that is massive rep damage. You screw up once, guess what? It's going to take you a while to get back up because there are other people that you're competing in the space for. Fraud goes along with that. So it's all about protecting your customers' data, and there's an investment involved there, which is big.
Other than like outsized spending on infrastructure, and actually making it like when people are crying like, oh, we'll just move fast and break the law. You can't really do that. You kind of need to be sure that it theoretically will scale, because you can't be running out in the middle of the night and having a fire drill when 1,000 people on board or whatever like that. That's not going to work. So you have to pay more up front to be ready for it to scale. The issue with this business model is it's like the scale business model, but you need a bunch of money to make a bunch of money. Yeah. You need a bunch of transactions to be able to support a system like this, because the system itself is a little more expensive than a normal, quote, system that I would talk about in software development.
It's very difficult to land on
and complex.
Yeah, the complexity is huge. It's very difficult to land on a scale that you can deliberately plan for. It's probably more realistic to think that you can achieve managed growth. So you only know what you know, and if you don't know, you can't really scale for that because it's a money drain at some point.
Yeah. The transaction scale business model, it's about capturing tiny margins on a massive amount of volume. And it's obviously it's the fintech model, as we've pointed out. I wonder if you like the AI companies maybe are doing this with credits and tokens and whatnot. I don't know, a little less because it's not really their model. So if you have ideas where this model is at play, let us